Hi Emily, congratulations on an amazing exhibition. I love it. Can you just give us like a brief overview of exactly what it is?
Yeah, so the exhibition follows a 300-year journey of the dentist profession from the streets and salons of 18th century Paris all the way through to the very different experience that we have in the era of digital dentistry and the dentist surgery today. And it looks not just at the technical side of the profession, but at our own very intimate relationship with our teeth. It's the only part of our skeleton that's on display to the public, and we have always been concerned not only with the health of our teeth but also with the looks of our teeth, and that comes across through the wide-ranging collections we have in the exhibition.
What's your personal favourite part of the exhibition?
So hard to pick. I do have a favourite. There are a number of dentures in the exhibition, from intricately carved ivory ones, a couple of 100 years old, but there's a really moving and peculiar object, which is a set of dentures made of aluminium, which is a very strange choice. Not sure I'd want aluminium in my mouth, but actually the story behind it's really moving. So there was an RAF corporal in the Second World War who was imprisoned in a Burmese prisoner of war camp, and he wore acrylic dentures, which was typical for the period. And the dentures were smashed by a prison guard, and he would have been left without an easy way of eating his food. Somehow, presumably somebody quite talented amongst the prisoner population was able to innovate and make use of the materials they had available. So these aluminium dentures are crafted from the metalwork of a fallen Japanese fighter plane, and we understand that they would have been crafted so an impression taken of them, of his teeth, to make them designed to fit by stripping the wax casing from cabling on the plane and melting that down to make a cast of his teeth. So it's an extraordinary story of innovation and of just how fundamental our teeth are for us, that kind of action was called for in those circumstances. We can't live without them.
I was hoping you'd say that story. That was just so fascinating to hear that story. What's the number one thing that what new thing have you learnt from overseeing this exhibition?
Well, there's two things that have really struck me. One is that I don't think I understood just how brutal and challenging the pre-dental profession era would have been. I'd never really given it that much thought, but actually, as soon as our teeth become uncomfortable, they're exquisitely connected to our nervous system, and they can be very, very painful. And in an era where all that you could do was have them yanked out as a sort of method of last resort, it makes me very, very glad to be alive in the era that I am and to be the recipient of the great dentistry I am today. I think the other thing that's been very shocking for me is that in that early era, when dentistry was new, 1700s, it was just booming, but only the most wealthy would have had access to that new sophisticated scientific approach to caring for teeth. I guess I had assumed that was something from the past, but actually, set against the backdrop of gleaming Hollywood smiles on the red carpet at Cannes, at the royal wedding, today this is still a story of stark divides. Your financial status is your biggest determinant of your dental health, and we understand from the British Dental Association that disparity between rich and poor shows no signs of narrowing.
That was what I thought as well. As soon as I came in and I saw that, I was like, well, that's still relevant today. It really is. So that is fascinating. So speaking of the future of dentistry, is there anything that you're excited about that could be coming, that you found out about?
I'm quite excited that I might not have to have gag-worthy impressions taken with that putty stuff anymore. So in the really leading edge dental surgeries, and increasingly commonly now, there is a wonderful device called an intraoral scanner, which is like a little wand that your dentist can use to do a kind of contactless scan around your mouth, and it'll take a full 3D surface scan of your teeth, gums and palate. And then they've got that data set, and they can use it to design a new crown for you, to plan a more complex surgery, or even to 3D print you some dentures.